Thank you all for being here, right? Because I get it. It's in the middle of the week. You got 100 things that you could be doing. I'm sure prospecting would be one of them, but thank you for being here. This is a brand new presentation that Real just put together and came out with. So bear with me because I might get a little bit ahead of myself because I'm so used to the other one. I could talk about it in my sleep. And if you find I say something and then it pops up later on in the presentation, it's just because I'm also getting used to it. So bear with my flaws. Thank you. As Vince mentioned, Vince has created to try to make it as simple as he can for all of us. So this presentation is on therealdeck.com. So feel comfortable. Really, even if each of us go in and we watch it once a week, you know, go through it, it's about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how many questions everybody has. Don't be afraid to ask. That's how we all learn together. We're not perfect. We don't know every single little detail. Yes, please silence your phones if you will. If you don't, next time, next meeting, you got to buy all the coffee and bagels. So, okay. So we do have a few people here that are not a part of our family yet. So they may have some additional questions, and just take a look at it. Here we are. We're going to talk about what Real offers. As again, Vince mentioned, sometimes I think we were having a conversation this morning, another agent and I, like, you want to talk about it, but they say, how do you like Real? Oh, I like it. But then you don't know really what to say, but just speak from the heart, right? What do you like about it? And the more you learn about the products, tools, and services, it's easier to talk about. So culture, that is one of the things I know I'm personally very big on. And I think for you, that those of you that have participated here, I think we have a great culture in our office. Well, Real has that same great culture as well. I know when we were taking a look at it, from being a broker owner for so many years, culture was very important to me because we're like family. And that's that feel that I want to keep, even as big as Real is and it's growing. It's nice to have that feel. So culture is one of those things. So let's talk a little bit about Real. These are things because so many people have not heard of Real, we're finding. They've been around since 2014, but what really started putting them on the map was about 3 to 4 years ago. They started offering revenue share. For many of you that don't know what that is, we'll get into that a little bit later, but they're growing about 1,000 agents a month, 26,000 agents as of the first quarter of 2025. As you can see, 13.5 billion closed first quarter of 2025, and really excited that this company is on NASDAQ, so it's publicly traded, and you can see the call letters, because if you're talking to someone that is educated about stock, maybe we're not that savvy, but maybe they are, they may say, what are your call letters? And you might be like, what's that mean? That's what that is. 61% up over the year agent count. So as you can see, we really are growing. We are in all 50 states. If someone says, well, how big are you? And we're in 4 provinces in Canada. So proud. This is really exciting. Real has a lot of our what they call C-level, which is, you know, your CEO, your CTOs, your CFOs. These people have earned tremendous recognition and awards. So it's also, you don't need to study these and know each one, but if you pick out a couple, it just adds credibility, right, to the company and to our officers. So it's giving a few of those little accolades there to those folks. So if you look at Real kind of broken up in like what we might call 3 bubbles or 3 circles, culture, and we're going to kind of go in on each one of these as we move forward, but one Real, support, and training. That kind of makes who our culture is. And then our platform is building a legacy and growing that to leave behind. And then our platform, as you all know, if you've been in, you've seen some of the tools and the services in our app, the Reason app. So, in talking, somebody might say, what do you like? And I know for me, it kind of rolls off. I say, I'm in love with the culture, products, tools, and services. And then they might say, well, what does that look like? What are some of your tools? So this will give you an opportunity to become a little bit more familiar. This is our CEO. So for those of you that will attend our RISE conference, which we'll talk about here in our presentation for a few minutes, you will get to meet him. We had the opportunity. They're so humble and down to earth. When we attended our first convention last year, he was there along with Sharon, and they'll take pictures with everybody. They'll talk to you. They're just amazing. And one of the stories I like to share when I'm talking about Tamir is Vince was on a Zoom call with him and a broker that he was trying to recruit. And this was, I don't know, I think about 5 or 6 months ago. And he says, I need to go because I'm in Israel and I got to get down to a bomb shelter. So he got right off, did that, and then came right back when he could. They're just so kind. So we really do believe here. Our sign fell down. We'll put it back up. But here at Real, it really is about work hard and be kind. So that's a great motto. And if anybody has any questions as we're going through, raise your hand and we'll do our best to get them answered as we're moving along. And here our COO, she's amazing. She's won many awards as well. You will get to meet her also. And I love what she says. And she says, here at Real, we're not building downlines, we are building legacies. And I know that when you get into real estate, sometimes you think about, okay, I got my license, and we're always worried about the next deal or our paychecks or getting paid. But some of you are so young, you can really, truly set yourself up for life. So when you're our age, you're not having to work the way that we do because you've put it in now and you're building that legacy, whether it's for your spouse or your children or parents, whomever it may be. So I really hope that even if you just take and learn one thing today, and then we're going to try to do this about once a month. I don't expect everybody to absorb everything today, but if each time you pick up one thing, and it's like anything, the more you talk about it, the more comfortable you become. Angie goes and lifts weights and works out, and so she gets stronger each time she does that. And the same with Real. The more you talk about it, the more you learn, the more comfortable you become. And one of the sayings they also have, and in your back office, which is really cool, they have templates that you can share. And so when you see the work hard, be kind, those are templates you can share on your social media. I love this one too, the one that says, we are bigger than me. I think that really says a lot to me because it says, hey, we really don't have that ego. It's about all of us winning together. So I kind of like for you to see that side of who is running our operation and what they're really about. So moving on, here we have at Real, we have Tech X Humanity, and it is the engine behind everything that they do. So they are harnessing cutting edge AI, which some of you have had an opportunity to almost said speak to Leo, but have an interaction with Leo, which we'll talk about, which is our AI here. So they really are, when you hear Vince and I present many times, we say that Real is known as a technology company, not a real estate marketing company. And we don't say that lightly because when Wall Street looks at Real, we're looked at on a whole different higher level with being a technology real estate company. So building. Agents don't hustle to survive, they build. And that here at Real gives us many income pathways that we're going to talk about. So for those of you that are new or just, learning about Real, here at Real we have no monthly fees. So whether you're coming from or you're currently at another brokerage or you're taking a look at Real for the first time, no monthly fees. And here, everyone is exactly the same. So at other brokerages, they may have different platforms that you can, get involved in. But here at Real, we're all on an 85-15 split with the company if you're a solo agent. And your cap is only $12,000. So I had someone ask me yesterday, what does cap mean? So it led me to say, I want to make sure I explain that, because if you're brand new, you may not even understand that. So every commission or transaction you close, your commission, you get to keep 85% of it, and then 15% goes to the company. And of that 15% that they collect, when they've collected $12,000, you're now at cap. So you've capped and now you're at 100% commission. To break that down, some of you are on a team, some of you want to be on a team, you don't want to be a solo agent, and then at Real, if you do join a team, your cap is $6,000. Okay, that's for standard member teams. Now your team leader may have a split and a cap with you. Okay, so that takes it, each team can do what they feel is best for what the value they're providing. And then something new that it's not new to Real, but it's new in this presentation as well, is there is a platinum team, and that gets into like having mega teams, and their cap is also a little bit different. $249 sign-up fee. So when you join Real, no monthly fee, but it's $249 to join. And out of each transaction, there's a $40 CBR fee. That stands for Compliance Broker Review. So when you are doing your file and you're uploading it, your file's always being reviewed, and that's a $40 fee for that. No transaction fee until after you have capped. So when you've met that threshold of giving Real their percentage at $12,000, then you have a $285 transaction fee, or as you can see, 15%, whichever is less. And then it states that after you've capped there, then it's a it's a 125 lease transaction fee once you've met that $12,000. So some people do rentals. So that's what it's referencing there. Once you have capped, $129 fee. So now you've become an elite agent. What is that? So first you have your 85-15 split. You cap at $12,000. Now your transaction fees start at $285. Once Real has collected $6,000 of transaction fees, you become an elite agent, and we'll talk a little further on, but this is where when you cap at your $12,000, you're going to get stock, and when you've made an elite agent, you're going to get a lot of stock. So they're rewarding you at each phase that you go on. Any questions on that so far? Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, what does the CBR stand for?
It's Compliance Broker Review. Yeah. You're welcome. Here at Real, they have a $750 annual brokerage fee. What they do is that's divided up into your first 3 transactions. So you close a deal today, they take $250 out. You close a deal in a month, they take $250. You close a deal in 6 months, they take $250. So it's $750 annual brokerage fee. That covers your E&O, basically, okay? I love this. You are given 3 personal transactions a year. So you want to list your own property, you want to go buy a property, you want to, take care of mom and not have to charge her any commission, whatever the case may be, you're allowed 3 of those a year, and it's a flat $250 fee. So another little gift. I feel like it's the gift that keeps giving here. Okay, this is for Canadian agents. So when you are talking to agents, it's anywhere in the 50 states and 4 provinces of Canada. So everybody knows somebody everywhere. So think about, it's crazy how it happens, but you might know somebody in Canada who's a realtor, and they have a different split because their money value is different than it is in the United States. So their cap is actually $15,000, but you can certainly agent attract in other areas, and we'll talk a little bit more about that too. Okay, so we're talking about the stock awards, and here's how that works, because it's pretty exciting when you start looking in your back office. First, you meet your annual cap contribution that we just spoke of. So you've paid in your $12,000, you're going to get 150 shares of stock. And it's traded, you can watch it on NASDAQ. When you opt in when you fill out your ICA, it will ask you, do you want to opt into the stock plan? And you can check yes or no, or anywhere down the road, you can always go back and say, hey, I've decided now I'm ready to do the stock plan. But when you cap, you're going to get 150 shares. Your stock account is managed by Morgan Stanley. So you have a Morgan Stanley account, you have an app, it's amazing. That's the one way. Then when you agent, recruit, or attract, you're going to earn shares of stock, okay? And if you're on the 12,000 plan, you're going to get an additional 75 when that agent closes their first transaction. So if I sponsor Carmen, now she's my, first level. I sponsored her direct. When she closes her first transaction, I'm going to get awarded 75 shares. Okay? Then when you are on the $6,000 plan, so if you're on a team and that's your cap, it's the same except it's just half. So when you cap, you're going to earn 75 shares, half of what the 12,000 cappers do, and the same with agent recruit, 35 shares when you attract. Any questions on that? Okay? realdeck.com is where you can find this. So you can go right to the realdeck.com, save it on your computer. You can download it, print it, whatever you need to do. Vince he's so savvy with all of that. He's like, let's just put it on there. So you might be talking to somebody in another state. Now you don't want to just send this out right without having some kind of conversation, because they need to be introduced in some fashion. And that leads me to, let's say that you are talking to an agent and you're like, hey Vince, hey Ellie, can you talk with this person? At least somehow have introduced them before we get involved, because it's very awkward, and we've had this happen when we get on the phone or a Zoom or we go to meet somebody and they don't even really realize why we're here, and then when we start talking, it's like they're a deer in headlights. So at least have done some kind of opening for us of some form of an introduction before you just send out this PowerPoint presentation. And it would be best if you could do what we're doing right now with them, or bring them to something, or say, hey, could you do this? Because I'm just not comfortable yet. Of course we will. Okay, a lead agent. So that again, just to kind of recap, when you've paid your $12,000 in, you're capped. Now you start paying a transaction fee of only $285. And what we like to say is, you can charge your client whatever transaction fee you want to charge. So example, we charge $495 to our buyer or to our sellers. So before we cap, it just counts as additional commission. After we've capped, obviously it pays our 280 fee and gives us a little bit, of additional income. But once you've paid in the $6,000 of your transaction fees, Real awards you $16,000 in stock. So this is how, if you're engaging in following any high producers from Real, or whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, any social media, you will see our upline, Joe Herrera, talks a lot about how much money he's made in stock just last year. I think it was like $85,000. It's wild. So then if the agent decides, after they've capped and after they've met elite status, they go, you know what? I want to train in the back office. So this is why when I tell you all, you could really be on an isolated island alone. And if you had Real, you could get into the back office and be trained by these high-level producers. It's not Ellie raising her hand saying, I would like to train in the back office. You have to meet a status, right? And so if I've completed my cap, my elite, and now I want to train, I can do that either in the community or I can upload it and it's in the library at Real, and they will give me another $8,000 in stock. So they just keep on rewarding people. And you never know who you're talking to. When you're speaking to somebody, they may be a very big producer, and this could be nothing for them. And when you're explaining it to them, they get really excited. Any questions? Okay, so while you are earning your commission, 85, right? You're 85%. When you sign up and you make that decision that, yes, I want to buy stock, I want to be enrolled in the stock program. While you're getting to your $12,000 in cap, you are able to take 5% of your commission and purchase stock. And then the company gives you a 10% bonus on that. So while you're earning to cap at the 12, you can buy 5 and they give you 10. I guess I'll wait for the next screen to give you the next slide of it. There is a limit, and in this fine print it tells you up to $3,400 and your match is $340. If you're the $6,000 cap, it's up to 1,700 shares and then dollars, and then it talks about the 4,000. So a nice way to have passive income as well. Okay, once you've capped, you can buy 10% of stock and they give you a 15% bonus. So this is a nice way. Think about it. You're earning commission, you're earning stock. Now that's only 2 of the ways. We haven't even got to all the other ways you can earn income here. Any questions on that? Okay. Growing. So this is really exciting. Real is where serious teams scale. So there's a lot of teams here at Real, and once you continue to get involved, you'll see that. But they will allow you to keep your branding, your model, and the momentum. But you can tap into the tools and have a platform. Again, did I go backwards, or we have this in here twice?
It's in there twice.
Yep, sure is. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so we'll have to put a little note in about that. Okay, so we're talking about pro teams. Pro teams is the mega teams, right? So it talks a little bit about that. We're not involved in that. If someone here wants more information, we will get that information for you. But it does tell you that it has flexible compensation models, lower caps for eligible team members. I mean, it's mega teams. Private labeling. So I like to use myself as an example. So when we had Ellie and Associates, maybe if Real had been around then or someone had presented it to me, we maybe would have done something different. So what I mean by that is, if you know of an independent brokerage and they don't want to give up Ellie and Associates, but they don't have the tools and products to offer their agents like Real does with the AI and the back office and all of the technology, but they want to remain who they are, Real gives them an opportunity to be what they call private labeled or white labeled. So very important, because there's a lot of little, if you really start to think about it, and when you're driving down the road, if you start looking, you're going to see real estate offices all over. And think about, dress yourself up, walk in there and say, have a conversation, set up a meeting. You don't know unless you ask, right? Somebody, it's all about timing. And no never means no. It just means not right now. So this could give you an opportunity to bring brokerages in that want to keep their themselves as their name, but they need that extra help. Legacy, this is where we get really passionate about this. So we're going to get into the revenue share. So revenue share is another stream of income. So you have regular commission, you close a deal, you get paid your commission. If you opted into stock, you're buying stock, now you have another avenue of income, right? You're building that portfolio up. And the third way is called revenue share, and this can grow and move really quickly. So what happens here on revenue share is you have an opportunity to earn on what they call 5 tiers. What does that mean for new people? Okay, I'm Ellie, I sponsor Carmen, right? Carmen comes in, Carmen would be considered my tier 1, okay? Every time Carmen closes a transaction, Real takes from their 15% and they pay Ellie 5% of her transaction. So it's not coming directly, right? The company's taken from what they earned and then they pay me. So think about this, guys. If you had 5 agents, just 5, that you sponsored, okay? Those would all be on your tier 1. If they are producing and they cap, you could earn up to $4,000 per agent, which is an additional $20,000 a year income. That's a lot of money. And guess what? There's no limit to how many people you can sponsor. So you could sponsor 100 people. Because we all know in real estate, not everybody is producing at the same time, right? Things happen, death, life, health, kids, real estate. Okay, Carmen decides she's going to sponsor Kevin. Kevin becomes her tier 1. He becomes my tier 2. Every time Kevin closes a deal, Real takes 15%, their 15, and they pay out. 5% goes to Carmen, 4% goes to Ellie. You're starting to see how this works now, right? And it goes down 5 levels. So on your second level, you can see here for every agent that would cap, you can earn up to $3,200 on your second level. This is a lot of money, guys. I mean, this is a lot of money. Third level, $2,400. On your fourth level, it's 16 and 8. So what they've done is they've made up here where you're more likely, right, to recruit, they gave you a higher percentage rate on those that you can earn. Yes, sir.
Did you say, and I might have missed it, you have to fill tier 1 before tier 2?
Okay, so yep, I didn't talk about it yet, but I'm about to. No, you're good. Please, you're good. Any questions, though, on that money so far? Yes.
I think we spoke of this briefly yesterday. So, regardless if they cap, right, you're still getting a percentage.
You still get a percent. Every deal. It's every deal that they do.
So you don't
And
have to worry about them capping. You're still going to get a percentage of that. So even
correct.
if
But if they do cap, you would earn, yes. Yes, okay. Yeah, it is. So up at the top, you see where it says 1 to 4, 5 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24, and 25. So this is telling you how many agents that you have to sponsor in order to open up each of those levels. So when you have 25 agents that you have personally sponsored, you open up all 5 levels. 5 agents get you your first 2 levels, and then it's 15, 20 to 25. Make sense? Okay, awesome. And it's not in here yet because it's so new, but Real just came out this week with a big announcement. You want to talk about that, or you want to wait till the end?
Just wait till the end.
Okay. Okay.
Got a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. What's involved in a sponsor? Like when you sponsor someone, what does that entail?
Okay, nice. So let's say Vince and I meet you, and he's talking real to you, and I'm talking real to you, okay? And you're ready to join. You have to name a sponsor. So in this situation, you might say, hey, Ellie, I was talking to Vince first. I like you so much, but I think Vince might give me more of what I need, or we haven't got this far yet, or you might say, I like you both so much. You're in the same office. I'm going to get a little bit of what I need from him, and I'm going to get a little bit of what I need from you. I'm going to co-sponsor. And we're going to talk a little bit more about co-sponsor coming up. But as a sponsor, I do have a responsibility to plug you into trainings, get you set up in the back office, okay? And there's another back office training that we do, but they do have a step-by-step that kind of guides you. But I do have that responsibility to help get you and navigate you to that, okay? Okay, here's about the co-sponsorship. So let's take an example. Let's say that you know an agent in Vegas, okay? And you're here, but you're besties or you're good friends or whatever the case may be. You're so excited about Real and you're explaining it. And we've had this happen time after time. And they go, oh, Ellie, this sounds amazing. I love the presentation. This sounds like everything that I'm looking for. But you're not here. Now they go, so they might want to gravitate and stay where they were. But when you call up Angie and say, hey, Angie, I know you're in Vegas, you set up the demographic area and you know they're pretty close to each other. And I would say, Angie, Carmen wants to join, but I'm here and you're there. Will you co-sponsor Carmen with me? So it's an incentive to Angie to work with Carmen because she's going to reap the benefit, and yet it gives Carmen what she needs because Angie's hands-on, but Angie would have never had Carmen if it weren't my relationship. So co-sponsorship can be a very big thing here, and many agents at Real use this to grow their business, and it's a great way to do that. When you do that, it tells you, Angie and I would split her, and it's 45% to Angie, 45% to me, and the company gets 10% of that. And the reason why is there's a lot more paperwork involved when you have 2 sponsorships. There's 2 revenue shares. It's a lot of accounting. So therefore, they get 10% of that sponsorship. But it's still a great way to maneuver in keeping someone plugged in. Okay? And again, one of the mottos right here, it's not about competition, it's about collaboration. And that is truly another way that we do collaborate. Sometimes we think collaboration is just right here and we're masterminding together, but in this case, it's absolutely, this is a great example of it. Retirement, one of our favorite things that we like to talk about here at Real. So when you are vested here at Real for 5 years, Okay, so you're an active agent, your license is in good standing. If you decide that you want to retire and you've built up the revenue stream, okay, from revenue share, you will then be entitled to get 100% of that. If you're here for 4 years, it's 80, and 60% if you're here and invested for 3 consecutive years. Any questions on that? So think about it. Commission, stock, revenue share, and now retirement. This is, I mean, especially for you younger agents, my goodness, I think you've got to really look at this. It's not just having a license. This is, Vince and I were talking the other day and we said we were going to do this. How much real estate school is, how much your state exam is, how much it is to join the board, buy a lockbox, buy a sign, buy a few open houses. Nowhere are you going in America and going to start your own business and earn the amount of income that you can earn in real estate. It's just not heard of. I mean, it's amazing. So I think we have to really treat this and get the mindset. I'm the CEO of my business, my company. I'm going to run it like it's a business, not like it's, I got a license and I'm going to go do this today. I think we just we get lazy. But the potential of what you have here, it's incredible. Okay. At Real, with the revenue share, here's another opportunity where they allow you to leave this to your loved ones. So I like to use the example that Vince likes to give. You pass away, your family is grieving, and at other companies, that person that you have made a beneficiary to your revenue share would have to go get a real estate license. And here at Real, it's willable. So you can leave it to a trust and now your family can still continue to receive what you've worked so hard to have. So it's so exciting. Any questions? Okay. Support. Unbelievable. Live and on demand. Agent-led training. So here at Real in Florida, and they have this in all the states, of course, but we have one broker for the state. She's called a state broker. Then we have regional brokers. Then we have contract specialists. I think there's like 11 or 12 total. So you have access to these people, and you can, for those of you that don't know, and we'll talk about it when we get to technology, but we have a mobile app. Of course, we have our back office. You can connect with whom you need to. If you have a broker question, if you need to speak to somebody, you can just hit the tab and it texts them, it emails them, and they're going to get back to you within 24 hours. We do our best to try to answer your questions, but there are times when we're not around or we're busy, and it's a good learning tool for you all to go through the process, because as your downline grows, you have to think about, do you want everyone reaching out to you if we're all trained the same way, right? This is all about duplication. That's all this company on the revenue share side, it's about duplication. So I would say, look yourself in the mirror and say, am I duplicating myself the way that I should be for my organization to grow? Or am I a little lax here or there? Where can I be better? Because I want to be duplicated, because that's how we all grow together. So that reason, you can get a hold of, connect with the brokers, whomever you need to get your questions answered. Leo is amazing. Leo is what they've named him. He's the AI, and Vince is probably one of the best at it. He gets in the back office. I asked Leo, I think yesterday, for somebody, get in there and ask Leo anything. So instead of saying, hey Ellie, where can I get Real's W-9? Leo, Where can I find the W-9 for real? Any question you ask Leo, if it does not know, it's going to submit a support ticket for you, and you're going to get an email that says a support ticket has been submitted for you, and then you're going to get a follow-up from Real. If it does have the answer, it's going to connect you with a link that you can tap into the back office in Knowledge Library, and it's going to show you what you just asked. It's going to show you the W-9 or whatever it may be. So technology is amazing. One of the things that I know we need to get much better at is there are regular state broker meetings. And we're going to talk about how you find that in a minute, but they are on Zoom and they're monthly, and it's where we get an update of what's happening in Florida. So there are new contract forms that just came out for condos. I know when we log into MLS, we have a habit of when the pop-up pops up, we're too busy. We don't want to read that because we're trying to get into the listing. We're trying to find out how to show it, right? So we're just clicking. When we really need to get on some of those Zooms, because here's what's going to happen, and I don't mean to get sidetracked, but it gives me an opportunity to speak about it, is you're going to go in and it's going to be a condo, and you're going to write what you've always done, and you're going to operate like you always have. And that agent's going to come back and say, wrong form. This isn't right. You don't have the right addendum, because on July 1st, condos changed. So if you have not been on it, you really need to get on that 45-minute Zoom and learn what's happened with condos. So with this broker meeting once a month, those are the types of things. So if we all get good at putting it on our calendars and just take that short time out, they don't last that long and they're very valuable. So again, it's all about the support that you're receiving from Real to keep you updated and keep your business in line. Okay, fast track your success with Real's onboarding and training. So Tammy joins today. She says, Vince, I'm signing with Ellie. She's the rock star. Just kidding. So Tammy joins, and we know that she has to then join the board, and it's going to be my job to walk her through. Tammy, here's the next step. I'm going to send you the ICA. You're going to fill it out. If you need help, I'm going to walk you through it, etc. Then Tammy's going to get an email, like all of you did that are already here, that says, here's your login. And I really should now sit with her or go over it and say, hey, Tammy, did you get that email? And in that back office, it's going to, many I have found from sitting with a few of you, that you haven't completed your onboarding checklist that they give you, but they have it. It's so simplistic. It's like, Tammy, join the board. Tammy, move your license with the board. Tammy, download the app. You know, it gives you that step-by-step what to do. Sign up for the state meeting. You know, order your business card. So it gives you, it helps you to help them because it's already there. So, awesome. Oh, let me go back to that. So also in the back office, training. Again, I mentioned it earlier. I just touched on it. But training is amazing. There's 30 to 70 live classes of training a week at Real. So if we never had a training here, never. And trust me, some of you that have been other places, and as a broker, when I used to interview, it would be like, what do you like best where you are? What do you like the least? It was support and training. So we give a lot of training in this office, but you, if you never plugged in here, you could get everything that you need in your back office with those trainings that they have.
Sorry, Ellie, real quick. Did you say per week?
Per week. 30 plus classes per week.
That's a lot.
Yeah, here we go. 30 live courses each week on demand. And I like how they break it all up. And one of the things that we were talking about last night that I also like is if somebody cannot, maybe you're just hands off. Maybe you're working a full-time job and you recruited somebody and maybe you feel like you can't give them everything that they need. There's a million different reasons. But in the back office, there is a career path that someone can sign up for. So if it's a new agent, and Tammy, I don't mean to pick on you, but Tammy could come on board, and in the back office, Tammy could join the career path of a new agent, and she could be sitting at home in her own, comfort of her own home and being trained by the new agent career path. There's experienced, there's teams, there's luxury. So there's a variety of, I'm sorry? Yeah, brand new. So it's wonderful. And they break it down. It's not like this whole big thing and overwhelming. As you can see, they do it in little, what I call bite-sized pieces. Okay, so we already talked about Real is really more than a name. It is truly a collaboration. And they share wins, they support each other. I repost it, couple things. One, here, Real has their own Facebook page, okay? I'm talking about not behind the scenes. So one, if you're not a part of Real Facebook page, you should be, because that is also where they post announcements and they post wins and they post, whatever they need to get out. So many times on there, maybe an agent made elite status and that gets posted there. I reshare those even though I don't know that person. I'll become friends with them and say, congratulations, Tina, and reshare it, because I think it just shows support around the country. And then other people go, wow, that company is, showing, look at what they're promoting them and celebrating them. We all want to be celebrated. So definitely join that group if you're not. And now we're going to talk about Real as the community. Many of you don't even know this. Real has medical, dental, vision, and specialty coverage. So there's only one person directly connected to us that I know right now that is taking advantage of the insurance. But if you're without it, maybe you should shop it and see. I would, but I've got a pre-existing condition. So Larry, you and I are out from the heart. They're not going to take us. But some of you might benefit with that. So I think that's really cool. And one of the things that they also have that they brought up a few months ago at our summit is that they have I forgot exactly what they call it, but it's basically for your mental outlook. So in real estate, sometimes we can feel alone, things happen, we can feel depressed, things happen in our life. They have that available to you too. So that really just keeps confirming what I already know about Real, how much they care about their agents and their well-being. I love this. Here at Real, oh, I'm sorry.
No, back to the insurance. Is that for family, like for your children, or is that just for the agent?
I think you,
It said family?
yep, yes, family available, yep. Okay, I love this. Again, I really want you guys to understand your own business, but you've got like the mothership that's over you, providing you everything that you need to be so successful in this industry. And so one of the things that Real does by giving back is they have financial grants available. So hurricane, you get hit by the hurricane, the fires out in California, maybe you've gotten, God forbid, but you got a bad health report and you can't work. It could be a number of different things. Real has something available that you can apply for. You don't have to pay it back. It's tax exempt, never needs to be repaid, and it is compassion. It really is. And I want us all to give Vince a hand, because Vince contributes $100 out of every commission he makes to this fund. So pretty amazing. Okay, and let me just go back on this for 1 second. Also, because many of you are not as involved in this as others, but Florida Realtors also has a fund. So when the hurricanes hit, if you were affected by them, you could apply, and it was around about a $1,500 check you could get, and someone who wasn't a realtor could have applied through you for Florida Realtors. So when you start thinking about things, it ask, because it might be available. Okay, tech. We all know that, man, we've got tech here. It's wild. This is what your back office looks like for those of you that have not been into our back office yet. And it talks about, this is called Reason. It's the back office, and it's powered by AI. It's pretty amazing. Our Chief Technology Officer lives in St. Pete. And we are hoping that once we get this training center set up and operating, we've already talked to him last year. He got hit by the hurricane, so he said, give me till next year. He said he would come in and train on the tech side of this, because he's the one who invented it. So pretty exciting about that. So let's talk a little bit about it. We've mentioned Leo before. We can talk about it a little bit more. You can ask it anything. What's my cap? What's my next deal closing? What's, anything you can think of. And it's kind of like, for those of you that use Chat GPT, right, when we all should really be using it, that's what we're moving towards. The more you use it, the more it gets to know you, right? And same with Leo. The more you use it, the more it knows, the more it answers, and what it doesn't know goes back to the smart people like Pratesh, and then they program it and give it its information, so the next time you ask it, it probably will know it. High-tech stuff. They're supposed to be coming out with, in about 6 to 8 months, Leo will be able to write your contracts for you. So what will happen, you will input information, it will write the contract, it will send it to you for you to check, it will then forward it on to your client for their signatures, come back, make sure all is good, and then it will send it to the other agent. So, I mean, I get goosebumps. Like, this is crazy stuff. I never thought I would see this in my lifetime. And here it is with this company that we're with. I mean, it's fascinating to me. So, again, why? Because they want to give you more time to build your business for all of the things that you can take advantage of, whether it's more deals, whether it's more agent attraction, whatever the case may be. And if you do attend the conference, you will hear more about that. Okay, another product that we have, Real Wallet. If you haven't gotten in there, play around with it. In the back office, it will say, want to know more? And you can get in there and ask it all kinds of questions. But what I just was saying in here yesterday, Real Wallet looks just like this. It's a Visa card, a black card Visa. It is a debit card. It's not a credit card. But some of the things that you can do on it, you can put your commissions on there. You can put your stock on there. You can put your revenue share on there. You can, what I personally do is I put half of my commission checks on my wallet, and I put the other half in my business banking account, okay? You can split things up. You can put part of your, you can do anything. You can set it up any way you want. This past week, what I opted to do, another way that Real is trying to make the agents more efficient, is I opened up, because they give you an opportunity to do a tax account, okay? As realtors, we're not the best and this is so important for the new agents. You get excited, you're making money, and you made $30,000 in real estate. It's your first year. I'm just throwing a number. But you're not thinking, you're new, maybe you've not handled taxes, maybe you've never had a business, maybe you just don't know. Well, come the end of the year, when you got to file taxes, or the beginning of the year, you got to file taxes. If you have not paid the Uncle Sam his money, when you do your taxes, it's like, oh my God, I owe you how much money? And it's like, whoa. So one of the important benefits that Real is offering, and I just enrolled in it, is you can choose. I think the minimum is 15%. That you can choose how much taxes come out of each check, go into your business banking account with Real, and then what happens is when it's time for tax time to come, you've already set money aside, and now you're not worried about where this extra money is going to come from to cover taxes. So that's just one of the things. So the next thing you can do with the Real Wallet debit card is every time you use it, they are giving you points. What do you do with those points? Well, guess what? You can use those points to cover transaction fees. So that's another way of rewarding you back. So you can use it as a debit card for your commissions, revshare stock. You can set up your business account. And then what they're doing is, as you get deals, okay, and maybe you've got 5 deals pending. I'm just throwing a number. Could be 1 deal. Let's just say you had 5 deals pending. And you're like, ooh, I really need my money. I thought this deal was going to close and it didn't, and this was going to happen, and this one dropped out. And like, we get stressed out in our business, right? Because we know how it is. And what Real is allowing you to do is take a commission advance against what you have pending. So it's another way that you don't have to stress. You can go, you know what, I need $5,000, and maybe you got 20 grand pending coming. Boom. So another advantage. And then down the road, soon, they will then allow you, I think Maria deals with some investors, and Gypsy, you do too. Sometimes we come across deals and we go, man, this is a really good deal. I got to call my investors and get them to, tell them about this property. Well, once again, Real will take a look at kind of how you're doing and how your credit is and all of these things, and you might be able to buy that house using your Real Wallet card. And our upline has done that. So we know it happens, we know it works. Amazing. So I just feel like they just keep trying to pour into us every way they can to make us successful. So this Real Wallet is pretty cool. Many of us have it. If you want to see it, I think Leslie, you have yours. Larry, I'm not sure, you could show that after. Okay, so Real, many times people go, okay, what document platform do you use? Well, Real does have their own document platform called Real Signature. I have used it for one document. I accidentally created a package. I'm not really sure how I did it because I did not follow the checklist and did not go through the tech support training for this, but you can do all of your files within Real Signature. If you're used to using Dotloop, Form Simplicity, Transaction Desk, you can still use those and you just upload your file. So your sponsor, mentor can go over that with you. This goes into a little bit more detail about, I've had a couple of calls where people go, oh my gosh, I need to talk to the broker. This is so important, yada, yada, yada. In reason, again, you can do that, click it, and they record it, and they will call you back. No need to track phone numbers. It's pretty organized. They're going to call you right back. Platform. So they offer a lot of different services at Real. You do not have to participate in them. As we know, these are 3 that we do not, but Real does offer it. They have Real Mortgage, Real Title, and Real Escrow. So for those of you that maybe you've got somebody, I don't even know, but they do have it. It is available. We have Scarlett in-house. For those that don't know Scarlett, raise your hand, Scarlett. Scarlett is our amazing in-house lender. You are not required to use her, but I don't know why you wouldn't, because she's basically on call 24/7. They have an office right here. She is stellar. She can answer any question in any arena that you might have regarding mortgages. She herself was an agent at one time. Now she's in lending, so she gets all the facets of what we go through. So she's amazing. Okay, real.
Team's amazing.
Yeah, all of the teams, right, are amazing, right? But yes, I get that. It goes back to we is bigger than me, right?
Sophia's right back.
Yeah,
Anytime for you guys.
Yes. And Scarlett does training for those of you that aren't involved in it. I don't want to give the wrong day.
Well, I brought the books. It's Monday to next week. We're moving back to Wednesday. Not to popular demand.
Okay.
We're moving it back to Wednesday after this next week.
Okay, good. So she trains 9:30, the same time, 9:30 to 10. We have a little social. 10 o'clock, we start training, and you get a lot of great information.
She has access to all different lending.
Yes.
And it's not
And if you've heard something that I can't imagine that she hasn't, she is like a bull. She is getting right on it at that minute. But that doesn't typically happen. Okay, back to real. We have real luxury and real military. So I'm going to start with the military side of it because it really hits me. So it is for those who serve and those support them. It's open to service members, veterans, military spouses, and their families. It is a designation here that you can get. It is community driven. They have a lot of education and support, and then empowering home ownership and long term. So if somebody is real, if you know somebody who is a military, I think isn't Daniel Rodriguez, he's part of this. Yeah, so it's amazing. Get involved in that. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
We have an in-house veteran. We love
Yes.
one of our realtors.
Yes, so he is a part of that. So that should be on every branding of everything that he does. Plus, it's a nice way when you're sharing agent attraction, you can say, hey, guess what we have over here? Because many brokerages I know don't have real military.
I have a question. You know how like you can join different places if you're a child of a veteran?
Yeah.
I wonder, because it says and family, so it doesn't mean, I don't know, let's find out if it necessarily means the military person themselves.
Or
What about
their-
a child? Because that could go with a lot of us, and a lot of us getting that designation would be kind of huge.
Yeah, you're right.
That'll be my homework.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask Leo and see what it tells
there
me.
you go.
I'm going to see. And then for those that do want to get involved in the luxury side, or maybe in your mind through today, you're going, wow, I know some teams, I know a brokerage, they're high end, they're really luxury. Now you can say Real offers this. So there is an annual paid membership to be a part of it, but I can tell you it is a small group of elite people. And Kofi, some of you met Kofi down in Miami and maybe met him last year. I think he's kind of runs that, and Peter Chu out of Orlando. These are people you should be friends with on Facebook. Follow them. They have some great information. So we do offer both of those here. The Marketing Center. I don't know how many have used it. Oh, you know what? I was going to bring the books out here. Okay, well, they're on my shelf, Angie, in my office, on my shelf. You know which ones I'm talking about? The seller, buyer, and will you grab those for me? Thank you. So in the Marketing Center at Real, there is so much stuff. So example, maybe you took a listing and put it on MLS, right? Because that's what we do. That's our job. And now you've got to go to the back office of Real and you've got to upload your listing. The minute you upload a property, Leo says, congratulations on your listing at 123 Maple Street. Do you want me to create a flyer for you? So Leo, if you don't know anything about Canva and all of those other programs, Leo will get it done for you. There's so many pre-printed things. There's templates. And then I was going to show you, but it's not a big deal. I can show after if Angie can't find it. It's a blue, black, and a white hardcover book on my shelf.
Is it when Leo presents you the brochure, is it customizable or is it just that's what it is?
You can customize. Yeah, you can customize. So in the back office, these are ones that I ordered, and I've got some ideas that I'm going to do with them. But let's say that you are meeting with a buyer, and maybe you don't have anything ready, but you have this book, okay? You could go to that client with this book, and it gives them a step-by-step of what the approach is. It explains the contracts. It explains the process of what they're going to get. There's a buyer one, there's a seller one, and then there's also one for recruiting. Now, it's not anywhere in depth like this, but it's enough. Let me tell you, these are gorgeous. They're $20 each, and they're well worth having. So this is in the back office as well. If you just took an hour and logged in and just played around in the back office and marketing, you'd be blown away what's back there. So lots of stuff. Like I mentioned, there's templates where you can post for social media. Sometimes you all will see me, you might think I do it in Canva. I'm lucky I can spell Canva. Okay, so, but you'll see it'll say, whatever, what did we just have? 4th of July. That came from Real. And it was the fireworks, and it was beautiful, and it had Real on it. That came from Real. Real had it, I took it, used it. So they make your life easy with some of those posts that you can do. Rise. Okay, so our convention in the fall is called Rise. It is an annual convention. It's November 3rd through the 5th. We're very fortunate. It's going to be in Orlando this year. So if you didn't or couldn't get a hotel, you could drive back and forth. The ticket is $1,000 to go, but I'm going to tell you it will be worth the financial sacrifice if you attend. If you attend, I'm going to tell you all this. If you attend and you're not on your phones and you're paying attention and you don't come back here and tell me that that was the biggest wow factor, I have goosebumps talking about it, I'll give you your money back. Because I'm telling you, that's how powerful Rise will be. The people, the speakers that they bring in, it's on a whole different level than any of you have experienced. It's amazing. It will be worth it. So it will be a sellout, and I don't even know if right this second they even have tickets, because what they do is they release them so many at a time. We were sitting at the Rise convention in the chair when they made the announcement for this coming year, and they said, okay, tickets. I am trying to get our tickets right then. We couldn't even get them. So I got mine like 3 or 4 months later when they released, the next couple of batches. So be on the lookout. And also, almost every week, you will see in your back office, they have a survey, and it gives you a chance when you do the survey, they enter you in for a Rise convention ticket. So do those surveys, because not just to get the ticket, but let's say something is going on you had a problem with and you're like, oh, this could have been better. Like this needs to be different. Well, that's your opportunity to do the survey to tell them, because how can we get better and make changes if we don't tell them where they need to get better? So do those surveys. Okay, we have several preferred vendors. These are all the vendors that Real are currently affiliated with, and they will continue to add more. We use D signs. People say, where do you get your real estate signs from? We get them from D signs. There's Lofty for those of you that use it. There's American Home Warranty. I mean, there's all kinds of vendors on here, so they do give discounts for Real agents.
The D signs, so are those customizable as well? Like,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
There's no like specific, and then you add like a template type of thing? Or?
Well, D signs know the requirements of Real. So when you go, if you're trying to do something that Real will not allow for their branding, they will say, sorry, that's not allowed. Because when we first started, Real did not allow you to put your picture on your sign. Now you can put your picture. So there are some, they're very aware of it. That's one of the nice things about using. Otherwise, in the back office, under the marketing center, when you hit Florida, it takes you a deep dive into everything. Business cards, signs, etc. Okay, Real has a really cool community that is in our back office. And for those of you that have not connected to it, on that very first page where your profile is, and it gives you your onboarding, one of the things there is to join the community. And in that back office, you can join groups, you can get involved in masterminds. That's where people post referrals. You can give referrals, receive them. It's a whole thing in the back office. So it's like you have Real as one big community, and now they bring us all together in this capacity. Now, for those of you that are not a part of Real, you can join Real at joinreal.com. Any other questions of anything we covered? Because that's our presentation.